Hey guys, Zueljin here. Recently saw the gameplay trailer for Magic Legends and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about it and kind of discuss what I've seen in some of the videos as well as the publications that have been put out by various different content creators as well as the developers, of course. Magic Legends, on the surface, if you haven't seen, is a multiplayer Magic the Gathering themed action RPG. And even though it's been announced as an MMORPG, I have yet to see elements that actually put it into the MMO category. Although I'm still kind of hyped for this. I'm optimistic, let's say that. If you've never heard of Magic the Gathering, it's a collectible card game that's been around for years in paper form as well as video games, including the newest edition on PC called MTG Arena. It's one of my favorite games, actually. I played a ton of Magic throughout the years in paper form, and I'm really a daily player of Magic the Gathering Arena as well. I also watch a lot of content and a lot of tournaments. It's a really neat game, and fundamentally it has great mechanics and makes for such an interesting playground for a game. Magic the Gathering has a rich mystical universe and lore within the thousands and thousands of cards that have been printed. With Magic Legends, even if you've never played Magic, you shouldn't be at a disadvantage against other players that have more experience with Magic games. If you are in fact familiar with the cards, however, you're going to be able to recognize some of your favorite creatures and spells and locations that you may have read about in the lore text on cards or in any of the novels that have been printed as you build your deck and kind of explore the game. The story thus far is pretty generic. They're probably going to reveal more as we go, but right now it's basically become a planeswalker, fight the darkness. And it specifically says there's an ancient force that moves through the darkness, and you must walk the planes to gather power so that you can fight what threatens the multiverse. Referencing powering up, you'll be able to collect spells and build spell hands, as well as lots of progression and customization to suit your playstyle. These playstyles will come in the basic form of classes. The two that have been revealed to us so far are Geomancer and the Mind Mage. And the Geomancer uses earth magic to fight enemies within close range, with stone and lava attacks, and defend themselves with rock shields. They can summon and control creatures such as goblins, earth elementals, and Kavu, which I assume are the carnivorous mutant reptiles that are based on the prints in the card game. These creatures are going to be your pets, like your minions, and they're going to run around and help you fight enemies autonomously, sort of like you've seen in other action RPGs where you can recruit NPCs or get pet summons and have them fight with you. The Mind Mage, on the other hand, is what I am going to focus on because that's what I saw the exclusive coverage for Game Informer in. The Mind Mage focuses on psychic powers to fight enemies at a range that's specified as a safe distance, even though in the video you see the Mind Mage getting up close and personal a lot of the times. They probably just don't shine in this way. They can put enemies to sleep and confuse them to attack their own allies or pelt them with projectiles using telekinetic powers. They're supposedly inherently better at crowd control and will be skilled but not limited to using blue cards. So they're going to be kind of like the blue mage, which usually is like telekinesis, mind, illusion, all of that good stuff. In some of the gameplay that I've seen, there are orbs floating around the Mind Mage and just coming out at a rapid pace against enemies, sort of like an auto attack feature. So the two different types of game modes that we've seen so far are story missions and ordeals. The story missions are instanced full-scale segments of the game that we'll get into in another video. Ordeals are what I'm going to focus on here, which were kind of highlighted with the Mind Mage in a recent gameplay spotlight from Game Informer. These are quick solo missions that can be entered into, sort of like rifts with objectives and time limits, like cleansing relics in 10 minutes where bosses spawn and there's rewards if you complete the mission within the time limit given to you. They get progressively harder as you progress through the mission by an AI system that they call the Director. There are side objectives like kill 150 zombies, and when you complete it, you'll get extra loot for that. But after successfully completing the ordeal, the player is presented with the mission reward screen containing a variety of unlocked spells, as well as an assortment of spell shards for cards that already have been unlocked. These spell shards can be used to upgrade spells. For spells will be a certain type of card as well as creatures. I'm sure you'll be able to upgrade those as well. That's what a deck is going to be made from, is spells and creatures typically in Magic the Gathering. A deck is a combo of creatures and spells totaling 12 cards and is put together prior to entering missions. A hand, on the other hand, hand is 4 spells that you can draw from at any given time. So what I'm thinking is you select 12 total cards before you enter a mission, and that you can hot swap these within the mission to gain 4 action abilities that you'll see in the lower right hand corner of the screen. There was some commentary that was discussed in other videos that talked about a variety of options in building a deck that follow recognizable archetypes in the card game. If you've played Magic the Gathering before, you'll know that decks are usually put together with some sort of theme or archetype. Things were discussed like raising an army of the dead and buffing them up. That follows the archetype of reanimator decks, or creating a deck of huge green creatures. Sounds pretty typical of what green decks seem to accomplish in the card game, and even stuff like red decks that focus on mostly burn spells and smaller minions, just like the popular red deck wins archetype that's almost always prevalent in the standard card metagame. Red deck wins is one of those decks that people love to hate, but a lot of people use because they were always cheap and very effective. So we'll see how that plays out in Magic Legends as well. As far as other abilities, there's class abilities. The only one that I've heard about in any of these videos is Escape. They let you break free from mobs. The Mind Mage has a doppelganger that lets him move and attack freely from the shadows, and it was discussed that this one was relatively effective in PvP, although each different class is going to have their own escape ability that you'll be able to use, and those we'll discuss further as we find out more about them. As far as the game itself, looking at the trailers and takeaways, I'm naturally excited because Magic the Gathering is one of these games that is close to my heart. I've been playing it for years, and there's been so many different renditions of the games, from the card games themselves to action games, to even RPGs like the old Chandelure game. These games are, they kind of remind me of the old Dungeons and Dragons games. There was a bunch of bad ones of those, and not that any of these were terrible, but there's nothing that's real memorable about any of them, except for Chandelure maybe, for me, and that may just be nostalgia. Honestly, though, I do enjoy MTG Arena. Sometimes some of their monetization models have been under heavy scrutiny from the community because of the way they've done things, but Wizards of the Coast is not known for making the best decisions all the time, but they do have a very popular product, and I'm hoping that they do right by this game. As an ARPG, this game looks good, but elements of the UI kind of made it look like it was designed for mobile or console, and maybe just given a PC port, and we've seen how those have played out. I'm still going to be optimistic, but from the gameplay videos, I mean, I've seen the animations, the characters, and the creatures. They look fantastic. There's dozens of powers shown off in the gameplay footage that was shown in front of Game Informer that looked really sharp and responsive, although it also resembles a Diablo 3 game a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. Most top-down ARPGs do, though, since Diablo sort of refined the genre. The landscape, the architecture, the hostile mobs shown in the gameplay I saw look very much like an area you'd visit in Diablo 3. In terms of it being an MMO, I'm not so sure about that. Although the features of multiplayer may still have some aspects that we haven't seen, it currently feels like a typical multiplayer ARPG model from what I've seen. I'm optimistic, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments as well. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more upcoming coverage. I'll show off and discuss as more info is released. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.